I'm AJ Bianco from Podcast PD, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows in the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology, and instructional coach from my district.
And I'm her producer and husband, Fuzz Martin. And if I didn't produce this podcast, it would go downhill quickly.
That's cute.
Thank you.
Well, we're at episode 228.
228
which
times
is crazy. Talking. And it's February. And the Olympics are going on.
Yes.
So I thought we needed to talk about some tools for the Olympics. So our middle school team has all embraced the Olympics in the last week. And we have another week to do this, where the kids are learning about every content, like learning about all their content areas, and we're tying it all to the Olympics. So they're doing like math related Olympics things. They're doing science, like physics, STEM related things. Social studies, they're learning about different countries and the connections that they're making. In ELA, they are comparing athletes and deciding who is the best athlete and doing like argument and debating. So I've been collecting different resources for teachers that are based on different Olympic connections. And there's still another week left of the Olympics, and then the Paralympics will be happening right afterwards. So these sources that I have are great connections, not just for when you're working on the Olympics, but anytime you want to make these connections with your kids, it's really cool. So I collected a couple of resources just to share with everybody because we've had so much fun kind of using them. And they're just interesting. I wasn't sure how the 6-8 students would like
if they would embrace it or not.
Yeah, because even if they're not into sports, like are they going to embrace this? Or, and so far, I can't tell you, our kids are so bought into so many things. Like they're talking about curling and they're talking about like, did you see that person's jump? Like, how is that even possible? And all these like conversations that I'm having with my kids. And then they're learning about other countries around the world. And now they all want to go to Italy and they're just really excited.
Where's Kazakhstan?
Yes. And Austria, like just looking at like different places in the world, things that they don't hear about as often.
Yep.
And so they're very excited about all the things that we're learning about. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. By the way, we're very excited also because we have a local gold medal winner. So that's fun.
We do. Yes. Here in Wisconsin. So it's pretty cool. Everyone's pretty excited and the connections are just being made to some students that I'm not sure would normally go like watch a sporting event. So it's just very cool. Anyway, with all of that being said, we have two very cool websites. The first one that we're going to talk about today is teamusa.com. And while I know I have listeners from all parts of the world, I'm sure your countries have similar websites. But if there's specific people, like your students are looking up or interested in specific athletes or teams or sports, they have all of that available, which is pretty cool. The Team USA site gives like great background. It's easy for student research. So if they're researching different types of sports or they're researching different people, it's really helpful. There's lots of fun information on the site. And it's really great. Like I said, we're able to tie this to all content areas. So if you go to teamusa.com, they have the current Olympics. So Milano Cortina is there, 2026. You can click on it. It'll highlight. It says there's always like a little ad that pops up. And then it gives you all of the different like the different sports that are like participating. So from alpine skiing to the biathlon, to the luge, to Nordic combined, to skeleton, which we were watching yesterday. Oh my gosh, so fun to watch. Also terrifying. Can't imagine doing that. So if you click on, like, I'm going to click on speed skating because that happens to be a thing. And then once you click on speed skating, it gives you all of the different athletes. It tells you where they're educated from, like their hometown in the US and how many medals they've won. And they're all just in alphabetical order. So you just keep on scrolling. You can view more athletes. And then once you find the athlete you want to find, let's pick on Jordan Stoltz. And we'll click on him. And then it'll tell you how many gold, silver, bronze. Obviously, he's won 2 gold so far. Then it gives the stats. So we're teaching the kids about like ages and stats and heights and different things, quick facts about them, biographical information. You can read their whole biography, and then when they're in the news, and then other related news, and then more athletes connected to them. So all of that is just on one person. So we have students that are debating if their athlete is better than the other one, and they can pull their stats, and then they're writing arguments and creating Google Slides based on like why they think their athlete is better than another one, which is really fun. You can go through and then you can choose, besides Olympics, you can then choose also the Paralympics, and you can learn about all those different athletes and the background information on them, the locations, which is pretty cool because then it also, like in social studies, we tie it into like not everything in the Olympics is in the same area. So then you can map it and how do people travel there and why is part of it in the city and it's part of it in the mountains. And then they can learn about information that way and do additional research. And some of them have maps on them where you can see where their qualifications are. So like I'm in the Paralympics right now. And when you scroll down, you can see the different parts of the US they're from, the different states they're from. And you can see how many athletes are from those different states. And it gives the background, which is really kind of cool. So it ties in, again, like I said, all the different content areas you can connect with literally what's going on in the rest of the world. Another thing we've talked about too is like students learning about different countries and looking at different maps. Also on the site, they have just information about Olympics and then also highlights. So there's like little video clips and stuff too, if you want to share that with your students. But it's a ton of information. It's very easy to support your students and have them engaged in relevant information that's happening. And if you click on, so if you're scrolling across the top, it has Olympic stuff and then also has athletes. And if you click on athletes, it will also go through their different, like how they qualified to get there. So it's like qualified athletes and then their background information. So you can pull that as well, however you want to search it. They all have their bios and where they're from. So we've also started kind of mapping out different parts of the United States where they're from, which is fun because then they can see like Paralympian, it's Brody Roybal, I think Roybal. He's from North Lake, Illinois. And then we have somebody else from Colorado and somebody else from Minnesota. Like it's really cool for the kids to see where all these athletes are from. So that's been highly entertaining for our middle schoolers in the last week and will continue so through the next week. Also, you have the option on the left-hand side. If you just click the little like hamburger, the 3 lines, it goes into events and news and videos. And there's a bunch of other resources it will take you to as well. So that's something just to check out, even if you're maybe not that much into the Olympics, but you might have a student or two that is. It would be a great resource to share with them. But it is Team USA, TEAMUSA.com.
I didn't realize that Milan and Cortina were like almost 5 hours apart. I always thought they were kind of close to each other, but
yeah. So like they really have to travel across the country. Like, if you're going to see one event in one part and then you're going to see another event, you can't just like, I'm going to hop on the train. Like you actually have to get there.
And I also was curious as to whether or not Jordan Stoll's sister, Hannah, kept competing. And turns out she competes in bird taxidermy now. And I learned that from the site. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, they used to skate together, which is fun.
And she used to be faster than him.
Yes, she did when they were really little.
Yeah.
Very cool. So just something to note, very relevant to what's going on, and especially for the next week and even throughout the year. So like we continue to talk about athletes and do just different famous people often. So it's a great way for students to have access to a resource that has all of their information in one spot, which makes it really easy. Also, the training center in Colorado Springs, we have visited. They have a museum.
It's very cool.
And that museum also has a website that has a lot to offer for background on athletes, which is pretty cool.
If you ever get a chance to go, it is.
Go to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And there's a training center, like U.S. Olympic Training Center, but it's not that. It's the Olympic Museum.
Yep.
And it is probably one of the coolest experiences we've ever had as a family.
It's fully immersive, like we competed in a sprinting race against each other.
Yeah, and you get to do like archery, and you get to actually throw the stones for
curling.
And you get to see an example of every torch that's ever been used in every Olympics. They have medals, they have costumes. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So worth learning about. It's very cool. And their website has a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
We'll put that link in the
show notes and on the website
because it's worth checking out too. The other site I have that we have been using is called kids-world-travel-guide.com. So it's kids-world-travel-guide.com. Kids-world-travel-guide.com has all kinds of cool things for kids for all countries. I mean, we encourage our kids to travel, but when you can't physically go someplace, it's really cool to learn about it. So they have, if you click on countries, like it will give you countries of the world, continents. It'll break it down. Cool facts about every country around the world. It's got great visuals and great like images that are easy to digest for kids. So I just clicked on Botswana. Here's top 20 facts about Botswana. Talks about where it's located, shows you in the maps, gives you different pictures. There are a few ads that pop up, but they're all kid friendly because the site is meant for kids and for kid research. They also have a section. So on the top, you have like their homepage. You can search specific countries, continents, fun facts. And fun facts gives you like geography and oceans and countries and people and deserts and landmarks. So my students are researching right now the host, that every kid has a different host country of the Olympics, and then they're researching the Olympics and they're in the different host countries, and then they're teaching each other in my class about the different host countries of the Olympics. So they pulled a ton of information from their events, which is cool. So they have like Chinese New Year, Christmas. But if you scroll down, they do have the 2026 Olympics. So when you click on that, they have a collection of resources about Milano Cortina, about the Olympics. And then they have on the right-hand side, Olympic Games firsts. They have an Olympics Games quiz. They have the Winter Olympics 2026. And so they actually, and then they also, what I appreciate is they have previous Olympics information. So Paris in 2024, winter in 2022, Tokyo in 2020. So they have different Olympics information, not just on the present Olympics, but also past Olympics, which were like my kids, once they're into it, they're like, well, I want to know more about why this used to happen. So that is also available. And they have all kinds of cool just information for information gathering, along with all other things. So like they do have a whole Olympics section, which is helpful under, again, events and celebrations. And then they have different things on like games and trivia quizzes, which I have a few kids that are like really into world trivia. And so as a teacher, they're fun to throw out just to see what they do know. And so there's different trivia questions for quizzes for kids. And then again, on the left-hand side is all the countries. So you can just be pulling any different country you want to, and it will give background for your students on that. So it's a really easy, definitely made for kids site. The information's fast to find. The ads are all kid-friendly. Well, from what I've seen, like all the ads are kid-friendly. And it's just a great way to expose students to different countries around the world. And they can learn quickly without having to spend a lot of time searching, which I always appreciate. They also have travel tips. So like travel health and travel tips, which I like exposing kids to, just learning about like when you leave your little hometown, what else do you need to know for traveling?
Yeah.
And then just different pieces of information about countries around the world. So kidsworldtravelguide.com has a lot of great resources to expose kids to different countries. It's straightforward. You don't have to do a ton of research. You just click on the country and it gives you a bunch of cool information on it. And again, they also have connections to the Olympics too, which I appreciate because that's what we're talking about. So it's another very cool resource to use.
Yes. Excellent. So kidsworldtravelguide.com and put hyphens in between each of the words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun and another way, again, to learn about the world.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're kind of seeing other athletes, like one kid was like, what's Kazakhstan? So they were like explaining like different countries that they usually aren't so aware of, and they are right now because they're right in front of them.
Yeah.
So it's very relevant.
Unfortunately, for Kazakhstan, it's not listed on kidsworldtravelguide.com.
Yeah.
But you can find it elsewhere.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. But it's one of those where, of course,
that's like the one that we talked about. And they've got so many, but
we found other resources. We're good.
somebody email them and ask them that.
Yes. But again, there's lots of information out there. So check it out. So both Team USA and Kids World Travel, there's plenty of information out there. So check it out. We still have the Olympics on for another week and then Paralympics right after that. So you can expose your kids to this. Or if you've got kids that are just interested, it's a great resource for them to have available.
Indeed.
Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook, Instagram at SmartandWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit SmartandWI.com. If you'd like to support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/SmartandWI or visit SmartandWI.com and click on that cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep the show going. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as we've described, but we sure hope they do. And we'll talk to you next time here on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.